In a world that measures your value by how loud you can echo, there are souls who choose to whisper. In a culture that equates presence with constant connectivity, there are hearts who disappear on purpose. Perhaps you have always been that way. You carry oceans inside you, but you show them only to those who respect water. You have never cared to trend. You have cared to be true. The world begs for noise, but you were born with a silent longing. You never wanted to be a carbon copy of someone else's dreams. You have always been drawn to the margins, to the small places where real conversations happen. Being rare is not romantic. It is lonely, and sometimes it costs you everything you thought you needed. The art of being rare is equal parts beauty and pain. Everyone around you is screaming, "Look at me." They measure their worth in views and validation. They shapeshift to match whatever is current and safe. You watch them and sometimes wonder if you are foolish for not joining them. You have kept your edges and your depth, but edges cut and depth can drown. People have told you that you are too intense, too sensitive, too different. You have felt the sting of being misunderstood. Being rare means that your existence is an act of rebellion. It means refusing to water down your truth, even when people walk away. It means knowing that applause is not always love. Sometimes it is boredom. It means accepting that not everyone will see you, but those who do will see you fully. Do you remember when you first learned to hide? Maybe it was when the world laughed at your first poem, or when your family told you to get a real job. Maybe it was when your vulnerability was weaponized. You built walls and learned to perform, but the rare part of you refused to die. It whispered in the quiet of your room, in the notes you wrote but never sent. It asked, "Who will you be if you stop performing? Who are you when no one is watching?" The art of being rare is answering these questions with your life. It is peeling off the layers until you reach your essence. Authenticity requires you to stand alone, to be misunderstood, uninvited, labeled, and feared. It requires you to love yourself enough to risk not being loved by others. We live in an age of templates, for success, for happiness, for grief. You can look up how to be human and watch a tutorial. We are drowning in instructions, but we are starving for wisdom. The rare ones know that instruction is not intimacy. They know that you cannot download wholeness. They know that life is not a checklist. It is a pilgrimage. This is what makes you rare. You are willing to be a question mark in a world that demands periods. You sit with the uncomfortable. You admit you don't know. You do not confuse certainty with truth. You realize that the more you strip away, the more you become. Solitude is not loneliness. The world confuses the two because it has never truly been alone. For most people, silence is a threat. It reveals too much. For you, silence is a sanctuary. You seek it the way others seek applause. You go on walks without your phone because you crave presence. You curate your environment. You protect your mind like you protect your heart because rare things are easily contaminated. You do not overshare because you understand the sacredness of mystery. Boundaries are your love language. You are not cold. You are careful. There is a difference. Being rare is expensive. It costs you invitations to rooms where people speak in scripts. It costs you relationships built on the illusion that you would never change. It costs you promotions and sometimes peace. There will be seasons when you question everything. You will wonder if authenticity is worth the isolation. You will flirt with conformity because it feels like home. People will give you advice that sounds reasonable, but is actually fear dressed as wisdom. This is where the art comes in. Being rare is not just about being different, it is about being disciplined. It is about knowing when to bend and when to break, when to listen and when to speak, when to stay and when to leave. It is about discerning which sacrifices lead to freedom and which lead to bondage. There is a beauty in being rare that cannot be manufactured. It is the beauty of being remembered by the right people. It is the beauty of walking into a room and feeling no pressure to perform. It is the beauty of waking up and liking the person you are becoming. People chase metrics because metrics are measurable. Rarity does not always show up on a scale. It is the way someone remembers a conversation with you years later because you listened. It is the way your absence is felt because your presence was real. The rare ones change lives quietly. They are not always featured, they are not always trending, but they are the ones who stand at your side when everyone else leaves. They are the ones who remind you of who you are when the world is too loud. They are anchors in an ocean of noise. Sometimes being rare looks like saying no when everyone else is saying yes. It looks like leaving a job that is killing your soul even when it pays well. It looks like ending a relationship that is comfortable but not conscious. It looks like moving to a city where you know no one because your spirit won't settle. It looks like staying home to read a book that moves you. It looks like investing in therapy, meditation, stillness. It looks like choosing peace over popularity. None of this will make sense to people who have prioritized comfort over consciousness. They will call you dramatic, impulsive, idealistic, but you will know. Being rare is not something you decide once. It is something you choose daily. It is a lifestyle of consistent alignment with your values. You will doubt. You will feel crazy. There will be nights when you ask, why can't I just be like everyone else? The answer is simple and complicated. You weren't designed to be. Rarity is not a choice. It is a calling. It is an invitation to embody a frequency that heals. The world does not need more replicas. It needs resonance. Your resonance may not be for everyone, but it will be for someone. It will be for the misfits, the sensitive, the seekers. Your life will be a living poem that refuses to rhyme with mediocrity. That is why you must keep going, even when your voice shakes, even when your heart breaks. Keep going. Because somewhere, someone is waiting for the exact sentence you haven't written yet, the exact story you haven't told yet, the exact version of you you haven't met yet. When you say yes to rarity, you begin to experience joy that is not dependent on validation. You attract friendships that are rooted in alignment. You feel comfortable in your skin. You trust yourself. You create art that is alive. You learn that being rare isn't about being better than others. It's about being better for yourself. It's about being honest even when honesty is expensive. It's about choosing depth over decor, essence over aesthetics. It's about building a life that looks like you, not a life that looks good on paper. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. It's about returning home to yourself. The price of being rare is high, but the alternative, betraying yourself, is more expensive. You have seen what happens when people abandon themselves for acceptance. Their eyes dim. Their laughter is hollow. They become ghosts in their own lives. You refuse to disappear like that. You refuse to trade your essence for applause. The pain of isolation is real, but so is the peace that comes with integrity. Your path may be narrow, but it is yours, and that is what makes it sacred. If you have been feeling out of place, misunderstood, or unseen, remember this: scarcity is not deficiency. You are rare by design. You are not behind. You are on a different path. You do not need to become louder. You need to become clearer. You do not need to apologize for being sensitive. Sensitivity is a superpower. You do not need to fix yourself. You need to free yourself. The art of being rare is not for the faint of heart, but it is for the brave of soul. You are allowed to leave rooms that shrink you. You are allowed to dream outside the margins. You are allowed to be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. Your rarity is not a problem to be solved. It is a gift to be honored. It might take a while for the world to catch up, but the world is often late to what is timeless. In the end, you will look back and realize that the price you paid for authenticity was worth it. You will remember the nights you spent alone and smile because those nights taught you how to like yourself. You will remember the jobs you walked away from and laugh because those jobs would have caged you. You will remember the relationships you ended and breathe because those relationships would have suffocated you. One day you will write a letter to your younger self and say, "Thank you. Thank you for not surrendering to the noise. Thank you for trusting your whisper. Thank you for being rare." In that moment, you will understand that there is nothing more extraordinary than a soul that chose to remain itself in a world that demanded conformity. That is the art of being rare. That is your art.